Welcome back, chaps. If you're in a negative place in your life right now, if you feel you need massive change, you want to completely change your life and go for something greater, sit down, relax, listen to this podcast. I'm going to take you through my method, my methodologies, some books, some techniques, some tricks that you can use in the next 30 days to completely alter your reality, to change the course of history that you are on. And I actually believe that this happens not in 30 days, but this will happen during this podcast. You will make the change. It's like the click of fingers. You click your fingers, you make the change in your mind about what you want your life to be and where you want to go, what you want to do. And it is changed from that moment. So change happens in an instant. It just takes us a long time to get there sometimes, but it doesn't need to. You can decide to change your entire life through the course of this podcast. I'm sitting here alone today. Some of you are probably wondering, Jack, why are you on the podcast alone? Where the host's gone? Tom's flown back to the island of Koh Phangan. There's various hippie women there that need a man like Tom to be looked after. So he's gone. He's doing God's work over there. And Bill's had to fly back to England and keep the orcs in Mordor at bay. So they're both out there doing good quality work, and I've been left here in the castle of Rivendell on my own to look after the free world. So that is what we shall do. But let's get into this podcast. The first thing I want you to do to change your life in the next 30 days, something that I've put into my life massively, the biggest mindset switch that you can make in the next 30 days that will be positive for you is to switch from a results-based thinking to an action-based and action-driven thinking, where you are not striving for results, you're not striving for the end product, but you're enjoying the work. It's the wax on, wax off, samurai way of being. You are doing the work for the sake of doing the work. You are doing the work to enjoy the process. You are sweeping the floor to enjoy the floor. You are not doing the work to get the result. When you disconnect yourself from the result, when you sit down like I am now to make a podcast, to merely enjoy the act of sitting with you guys and speaking to you and getting some thoughts out of my mind and just giving a little bit of the wisdom I think I've developed through using these systems. That's the point of this podcast. The podcast is not to go viral, and it's not based on the results, although they would of course be nice. It is to sit here and to enjoy the process of sitting down and making content that can help change someone else's life. And that's what I want you to think about. Any of the tasks that are set in this video, any of the tasks you have to do in your life, do them for the sake of doing them. Go to the gym because you enjoy the gym and the way it makes you feel, not because of the six-pack. That's the only way that you really attain the long-term success, is when the work no longer feels like work. The work is done for itself, for its own purpose. You're working to enjoy the work, not for the result. And when you do that, you become very, very powerful. Now, there's another interesting concept around work, that you should not make work so hard. It doesn't have to feel like effort. Effort is actually a mental construct. So if you believe something to be hard, you believe you have to give your best, your hardest effort, it becomes harder. You can actually do without effort. You can do things, you can do tasks very well without making them feel difficult. And all it is a mental construct. It's just a mental barrier. So in your life, when you're doing something, let's use boxing, for example, and you decide rather than to try really hard boxing, to go and try and find the knockout, to train your absolute hardest, you just be. You just box. You're just present in the moment, and you box and you enjoy and you become present and you let go of the result. And that is mastery. That's someone that's going to box incredibly well. I can say that personally because I was so focused before. If any of you see my pro boxing loss, I was so focused on result, on the knockout, that I was not present in the moment. I did not let myself just box. I did not let myself just flow. I was trying too hard. And this is common in the 21st century for everybody. Everybody's trying too hard. Just be. Just create and be. Let go of result and be present in the moment. Just that one mental construct, that one mental shift will bring you not only great peace, joy and happiness, but it improves the quality of your work, and it improves the quality of your vibe, of the frequency that you're on when people notice, well, he just kind of does his thing. He just kind of does stuff. He's not looking for a result. And people are attracted to that because it's It's otherworldly. There's not many people that ever even think about that concept. And I actually learnt that concept from a book that Tom gifted me, our other host on this show, who's been on the last 2 episodes, if you guys have been watching. He gifted me the book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Live in the Wisdom of the Tao, which is about the Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching, a book of wisdom that's been translated more than any volume in the world, with the exception of the Bible. And wow, I'm about probably 50 pages into this book, and I'm already quoting from it. I can feel it's going to have a massive impact on my life. So in the next 30 days, one of the things I recommend you do is also read this book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, by Dr. Wayne Dyer, Living the Wisdom of the Tao. That is just one of the points in the book that we've just covered there. Now, once you become more centered in just doing the work, in letting things flow, and you also start reading the wisdom in that book, you're going to feel quite liberated, I imagine, quite free and peaceful. This is when I recommend you take some time in solitude over the next 30 days, some time alone, with no people around, no phone, in complete silence, in complete quiet. Spend some time with your thoughts, contemplating what you actually want from your life. The only way to achieve what you want from your life is to give your mind a roadmap and a destination to aim for. If you do not know where you want to go, if you don't know what the dream looks like, there is no way to get there. So you have to sit down quietly on your own with your thoughts, no matter how crazy your thoughts might be. You have to wait for them to quiet and bring yourself back to that thought of, what do I actually want from my life? And start to think, what do I enjoy? What am I curious about? What did I enjoy when I was a kid? And when I sit down and I think about these things, I actually realize that I enjoy nature, and I enjoy the beauty of nature, and I enjoy hiking, and I enjoy adventure, and I enjoy being a little bit scared and out of my comfort zone in the wild. And adventure is really something I'm drawn to as a man. I also realize that I have a huge passion for music, for art, for music, and the way that it makes me feel, and the way that it makes other people feel, and the way that I can express myself through music. And I also realize when I go back into the archives of my memory that I love Lego, maybe because I love building and creativity, or I love the dopamine hit of getting something accomplished and done, and having set instructions to follow, and building something beautiful. And in my life, when I've done this task and sat down, I've tried to bring those things back in. I've planned more adventures in my life. I play music now, and I play guitar, and I sing a little bit. You can check it out on my Instagram. You see what you think. I love a bit of rock and roll. Instagram's Jack Hop Fitness, if you want to check that out. And you'll also see me building Lego. I've just nearly finished Lego Hogwarts, which was a monumental task. It was an 18+ Lego. So if you know Lego, you know that they've got an age rating. 6 years old and over, 8 years old and over. This is an 18+ and over. So it's no joke being able to make something like this, and I've nearly finished it. But those are the things that maybe you don't realize if you're caught up in the rat race, if you're an entrepreneur running a business. You've forgotten what you truly wanted in your life, and you're following an old dream maybe. So you look around in your business, and maybe you're earning great money, but there's very little fulfillment, and you can't enjoy each day. Each day just seems to pass. Everything seems so dull. This is when it's absolutely pivotal for you to find some quiet, to find some time alone, and start building your dream life. And what I recommend you do, there's a video that I made on this. I've done 2 videos on building the dream life. You can just search on my channel, Building the Dream Life, and I'll take you through it. But if you don't want to watch those, just listen to this. Sit down with a pen and paper. I would put some meditation music on, like Brain FM, keep you focused. Some nice, like, Buddhism music, some something along those lines, just to keep you dialed in. Sit down, put a candle on, and just start thinking and writing out that dream, write it out completely. In one of my videos, I have a worksheet that you can do to do this exactly. It's linked under the video if you want to find it. But otherwise, just grab a piece of paper, write down, where do you want to live? What does a dream day look like? How do you wake up? How do you feel? What do you have for breakfast? Who are you with? What can you see? What nature's around you? Where do you live? What are your bed sheets like? Write it in complete detail, the perfect day for you. And think about, how do you want to feel in that day? How do you want to feel every day about the things that you do in your life? And sit down and write all of that out. And once you've got that, review it every day in the morning. Because what happens when you've got this map it's the same concept as the yellow car or the red car theory. You will have heard this before. If I tell you right now to notice yellow or red cars, you will notice them. You will notice the things that your mind is thinking about. Now, what your brain does, and I'm living proof of this, is when you set it a goal, when you set it an exact picture of what you want in your life, it finds the path to get you there because it knows it's the same as the red car. It knows what it's looking for. So I did this when my life was a 9 to 5. I came up with my first dream board, my first dream life, and I wrote down the dream day, and I wrote it down every single morning for a year. And a year later, I'd written down, I want to live in a 3 or 4 bedroom villa in Koh Samui, Thailand. I want to have a 4x4 truck, beautiful girlfriend, good friends around me, making this amount of money. 1 year later, that was my reality. I was living my reality. I was making more money than I'd written down. I was living in the villa with the pool, with the infinity pool, with the beautiful view of Koh Samui. I had the truck downstairs. I've had it. I've done it. I've done it again. Now I live in this awesome condo where we built this studio. So just trust me. I don't say that stuff to brag. I just say it to tell you that it's true. And I hope that you can find it as well if you're living in a place where you're not so happy with your life, you're not so fulfilled. This stuff really, really did help me. So if you want to change your life in the next 30 days, you've got to spend some time alone and figure out where do you want to be. And then you can start to get guidance on your way there. Now, the next thing I'd recommend you do is a dopamine detox in the next 30 days. Dopamine is what makes our work feel good. A mixture of dopamine and testosterone. Testosterone makes effort feel good as a man. So if your effort never feels good, and you might notice this, if your work never feels good, if you never feel good in the gym, if you never go in there and once you started working out, you don't feel like, yeah, I want to keep doing this, go and get your testosterone levels checked because you might have low testosterone. There's plenty of ways to fix it. You can fix it naturally. I've made videos on this, but one of the ways is eggs before bed. You need the cholesterol from eggs to make testosterone. You need plenty of vitamin D. A lot of people vitamin D deficient. It's going to impact your testosterone. You need vitamin K2 to use the vitamin D. You need oils, like the oils from butter oils in your diet. Red meat is also very good because of the cholesterol it contains. But go and get your bloods checked and check if you've got a low testosterone level, which I would say is anything under 700 nanograms per deciliter. You need to boost that through whatever means necessary. Ideally, try natural methods first. Check if they work. If they don't work, you maybe have a look at TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, though I do not recommend it because then you're on it for life. So anything you can do to get them boosted naturally should be absolutely fine. Sometimes it just takes changing your lifestyle a little bit. But if works and effort is not feeling good for you, that is what I recommend you do. You need to get the testosterone levels checked. And then if your testosterone's fine, but you still can't find enjoyment and happiness in your life, you just feel fucking angry and you just feel like you're constantly striving for things and it's just nothing's paying off for you. Don't worry, I've felt exactly the same way. Just pissed off every day. And I've found that comes from an overuse of dopamine. We live in a world that if you're on social media like me, you're getting thousands of likes and views and comments, things that are messing with your brain. We're not made to deal with this level of dopamine. We've got all the entertainment in the world. We've got access to video games that are beyond what we would ever experience in the real world. We've got access to music 24/7, books, podcasts, YouTube, short form entertainment, nicotine, caffeine, sugars. All these different things fry your dopamine. Now, when you are overexposed to the luxuries of life, you can't find enjoyment in things anymore. You see, the world is paradoxical. There is no joy without pain. There's no light without dark. And if you've had too much of the highs, you have to experience some lows because the highs become normal. So when life becomes too comfortable, too easy, that's when your dopamine is basically fried and you can't find enjoyment in anything anymore. So what I'd recommend you do over the next 30 days is something called a dopamine detox. This is to set you back on a baseline of dopamine so that you can start to enjoy normal tasks like reading a book, like doing your work, like going for a walk in nature. And the way that you do this, number one, you've got to cut the screen time down. 1 hour screen time on the mobile phone per day, no more than that for 7 days. Okay? And if you've got to work like me, just do it on your laptop. Just keep this bloody thing away from you. Your phone, you just got to keep that away from you. Stay off Instagram. Stop watching the likes and comments. Let your brain reset. For the next 7 days, another thing I want you to do is no music. I love music. It's a beautiful thing. But isn't it such a shame when music stops sounding good? When the songs don't sound so good anymore? And that's because they've been overused. And anything overused, we take for granted. So give yourself a music ban for the next 7 days, a quiet world for you to do some thinking. And when you bring that music back in, it's going to sound glorious again. And also, listening to good music releases dopamine. So if you are listening every single day, if you're addicted to music, addicted to entertainment, to stimulation, your dopamine's fried, and you're going to find things a lot easier after this reset. Obviously, no video games, no entertainment, no TV. You can read books, you can work, but you just can't have any form of entertainment for the next 7 days. You can go to the gym, but with no music. And you've also got to try and cut out nicotine, caffeine, and sugar for 7 days. Note those down, boys. And if you do that, that might be quite difficult, but remember, it's only for 7 days. But if you manage to do that for 7 days, you will come back after those 7 days feeling a new lust for life, a new joy for life, and a new joy for the future and what's coming in your life. And you will be able to do work effortlessly. You'll be able to gym effortlessly. You'll be able to do hard tasks. You could be able to read. All of the things that you're finding difficult in your life right now is from a lack of focus, a lack of attention. And the way you bring that focus and attention back and completely change your life is through cutting out the dopamine that you're getting from these stimulants. Once you cut that out and then you reintroduce it and you moderate it, then you will be able to do the things that you want to do in your life. Moving on to health and fitness, if you're not already doing it, you need to be following a set workout plan and a set diet plan 6 days of the week. I would say 6 days on, 1 day of rest per week is absolutely perfect. I personally do a push-pull legs program. I've listed it underneath this video. It's free. It's the exact program I do. It's called the Mass Gainer 3000. It is pretty good. Go and check it out if you want to. But I think you should be training your body 6 times per week and becoming strong, and ideally throwing in a martial arts session a couple of times a week as well to get that cardio up, to get yourself dangerous, to get yourself prepared in case anything happens in your life, to get yourself feeling confident and good in yourself, and also because it's a great form of meditation. So the ideal training schedule would be like 30 minutes to an hour per day of the push-pull leg schedule for 6 days of the week, and then 2 boxing sessions. So some days you'll be doubling up on sessions. You'll be doing some weights in the morning, some boxing in the evening. That's what I would recommend for you. In terms of food, you want 8 eggs per day. You want a 300 to 600 grams of ribeye steak. You want sweet potato or rice as your sole carb, maybe some fruit, some orange juice, some black coffee, and that is literally it. That is what I would recommend you eat to look after yourself. Maybe a bit of vegetables here and there, a bit of broccoli, a couple of greens. That is what I would recommend for you. If you're not following that, then it's difficult to feel your best as a man. I think that's the best fuel you can possibly put in the system. And just to finish out this quite short podcast, but hopefully provided some value. After you read the first book that I recommended, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Wayne Dyer, if you can finish that in a month, you should be able to. I mean, I can normally read about 50 pages a day. So this should take you no more than a week. So if you can read 50 pages a day, you'll get through that in a week. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. But I do allocate a lot of time to reading. And then some other books that are really valuable over the next 30 days for you to start completely changing your life inside of the next 30 days is Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. Packed with wisdom. Absolutely saved me, this book. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. For those obsessed with money, you will love this. This is about how to become a millionaire. And Think and Grow Rich, an absolute classic. You should read it once a year. Absolutely read that once a year. Both of these books, they take you no time at all. Actually, you can probably read them in a few days. I would highly recommend that, because sometimes when you feel stuck in your life, when you want things to completely change, the thing that you need is a bit of inspiration and some new information. So hopefully I've given you the inspiration, you've got the information, and now you're ready to make a change inside of your life. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm about to do a trip to Dubai. I've got 3 very exciting guests booked in Dubai for the podcast. So this is the last you'll see of me in this studio for the next 3 weeks. You'll see podcasts from Dubai with some very exciting new guests, which I'm really looking forward to. You're going to see a lot of content of us in Dubai because the whole team is heading there tomorrow. We're staying there for a little while. And yeah, it should be very, very fun. So just a solo pod for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it and that you can start to change your life in the next 30 days. Comment below or get in touch with me if your life does change. It's always interesting to hear the audience and how you guys like this stuff. Just letting you guys know, this episode, as with all our episodes, is sponsored by Top Shelf Grind, my absolute favorite supplement company for testosterone support and pure energy, pure savagery. Here I'm sitting with the Alpha Grind supplement, my Kingmaker Top Shelf Grind supplement, which is the testosterone support, is in the kitchen because I took it this morning. But guys, if you're interested in those supplements, go and check out the link below. Go and check those out. Absolutely incredible performance in the bedroom from Kingmaker 2. And I'll be having the founder on the podcast very, very soon. So you can meet Robert, who's a friend of mine, Robert Oliver, who owns that brand, Top Shelf Grind. And you can talk to him. And he is really a savage as well. He's just an absolute G. So, guys, it's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful day. We're also available on Spotify now. We're available on Apple Podcasts. The podcast is now called New Elite with Jack Hopkins. That was the name we decided on in the end. We were thinking one night in Bangkok, but we're going all over the world. So it kind of didn't make any sense. The Jack Hopkins podcast I didn't really like. But New Elite with Jack Hopkins, I thought that was pretty cool. So that's what we're called on Spotify and all those things. We've got a channel on Instagram now, which you can have a look at. You can get all the best clips. And yeah, if there's any guests you want to see on, if there's anything you want to see us do on the podcast, comment it down below. It's been a pleasure. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a good one. Adios.